who isn't capable, but someone who feels they're incapable, someone who has had all the proper training, who has all the proper tools in their toolbox, but yet they're messing up, or they think they're messing up, or they have this perception in which they can't do it. They're not capable. They're not going to win. But it's that feeling of fraudulence. Awesome. So through my research, I just want to validate all this. I want to say that the origins of imposter syndrome came from studies in 1978, specifically the founders of this phenomenon, Miss Clarence and Imes, specifically in their study. And I looked at this like real time, when you can actually look at a real what happened and all those data and stuff. And then I looked at many other developments of that kind of said, okay, this is all the jargon that I didn't know as a music therapy major, and here's how it explains. And so basically that study concluded that these individuals, again, the imposter, they see their failures and their mistakes in their performance, and they deeply personalize them. So it affects them very, very intensely, causing that internal disruption, right? And they may think that their success is based on luck or timing, and not their own experiences or skills. That's a huge takeaway, right? You get an A on your first guitar proficiency test, man, Sydney Winters, you did fantastic. Well, no, they just picked all the easy songs. They picked Home on the Range. I could play that with my eyes closed. No, I was prepared. I was educated. I was willing to think on my feet. I didn't know they were going to pick Home on the Range, but by George, I did it fantastically. It wasn't based on luck. It wasn't based on timing. It was based on my own preparation and my own skills. Clarence specifically noted that these individuals believe themselves as unworthy of their promotions and their recognitions and awards, and saw themselves as frauds. So, right, we talked about that big component there of academia, right? So we're students, we get grades, we get all those things that perhaps we love and hate at the same time, right? They're validating, we pass something, but as we prepare, it's a little hard. And so if you get best music therapy student of the year, man, Sydney, I don't deserve that. Well, yes, you do. I didn't get that. I'm not saying that that's true at all. That's not true. But it's recognition there. Wait, you got the top score for something. Oh, that was just me. That was just luck. That was just timing. I don't really deserve that, right? Sometimes people talk about giving compliments, right, or taking compliments, and it's hard for people to take compliments because they don't feel like they're worthy of that. And I know there's many schools have thought of how to respond to a compliment, right? Instead of just thanking them, saying, oh, validating them and saying, yes, I can do it, taking that recognition, believing that you're not a fraud, that you got that award, that you did that thing, that you had that beautiful achievement for a reason. That ties into the implications of perfectionism. We're all musicians. We're all lifetime learners. We're all fantastic people on this Zoom call right now. And so we're inclined to think that there's a standard and that standard is perfect. No one's perfect. Hannah Montana said that a long time ago. But that is a common theme in imposter syndrome. And I can't sit here and say that as fantastic as you think I might be right now, that I have never thought, man, Sydney, you need to be perfect the next time you do this. You need to walk into presidency next year as the Midwest president and just kill it. You can't mess up. You can't do anything wrong because you need to be perfect. That's not true. It said in that study specifically that those dealing with imposter syndrome tendencies put a considerable amount of pressure on themselves to maintain their facade, right, their feeling of fraudulence. As such, are known to exhibit high levels of perfectionism and workaholic behavior. If you fit that right now, don't raise your hand on the little Zoom thing. But just kind of know, yeah, right? And to be a motivated individual, to be a person of academia, to be this fantastic student who wants to actually get a career in music therapy, you have to have some sort of high level of motivation and work ethic, but just kind of meditate on that perfectionism a little bit. Awesome. So in imposter syndrome, we've talked about what imposter syndrome is, and I don't think that labeling an individual as an imposter is what we do, right? It's not that Sydney Winters, she's an imposter, she's thinking this way, but it's kind of this thing that we all think of, right? We're going into something for the first time and we're like, man, I'm prepared, but I don't know if I can actually do this. Or wow, I'm going to mess up on my first try because I'm getting performance anxiety because I think I can't do this. So the first step in anything we know is identifying the problem. So identifying that imposter syndrome is more prevalent in academia, recognizing that as students. Specifically, Miss Imes, who is the founder of that phenomenon, said, yeah, grad students are the most affected, right? You just got your undergrad degree and you're pushing through and you're getting you're further developing your career, and you're like, man, I don't know what I learned for 4 years. I did a great internship, all this kind of things. And yes, you do. You're applying it now. You're furthering your education. You're taking that step, and you're kind of in the in-between stage. And so you're more inclined to kind of feel that internal disruption. Identifying signs of an imposter is the most important thing to building that self-confidence, to increasing that esteem, and to really validating the individual. Traits of imposter syndrome include, but aren't not limited to, go ahead and read that list. I'm not going to, right? Feeling of fraudulence, despite your achievements, seeing themselves as unworthy. And this isn't like walking around thinking, man, I'm not the best. It's little moments, right? It's thinking, okay, I'm about to go into this big board meeting after Sydney is done talking to me, and I'm running for this position. I don't know if I can do it, right? You can. You definitely can. Next, talking about the imposter mindset. So how to identify those moments of when you're in imposter mode or fraudulence mode. Imposters think in a masking sort of way. So they're attributing their success and their presentation of skills to their performance, right? Man, I'm not as knowledgeable on imposter syndrome as you may think, because I'm really good at talking. And so I can kind of talk my way into this presentation right now and think and convince you that I know what I'm talking about, but I actually don't. That would be an imposter syndrome mindset. Imposters also think that success is just a coincidence or a happenstance. Oh man, I just got my degree from music therapy, and man, it wasn't because I actually worked my butt off. It was because I just paid for 4 years and got my stuff done and took some tests. No, that is successful achievement. You need to be very, very proud of that and kind of say it's not just happenstance, it's not a coincidence. In the mind of the imposter, it is very a false positive, right? So you're thinking, okay, well, this just happened to me. It's not my current abilities. There. Guess what? This is the only thing on this slide. You can do it, right? Here are some solutions. In my research, there was quite many articles describing imposter syndrome in depth, but there was a few that gave solutions. Specifically, I'm going to quote one of the ones that just kind of had everything blanket for me there, and then describe those in detail. So from the article, when you feel like you're faking it, they gave us 5 solutions to kind of combat that. So first of all, going back, right, identify those moments of self-doubt. Identify those moments of performance anxiety, right? Identify, okay, I was really prepared. Do I actually know how to do this? Or was I scared? Was I doubting myself? That's the first thing. And then how do you combat that? Discuss your feelings with a trusted mentor. If you're going into your internship, some of your supervisors. If you're currently a student, maybe someone who's a little bit older than you, maybe someone who's your friend. Identify those feelings and verbalize your feelings of fraudulence. Verbalize them. Say, man, I think that I can't do this. I think that I can't present this scarf intervention in my 3rd session here. Well, then your friend can say, no, Sydney, I've seen you wave scarves in the air, and I've seen you be attentive to the client, and you are more than capable of doing this. That might reduce your performance anxiety. Accept that perfectionism is an unrealistic and costly, right? If we were all perfect, man, that would cost so much money. I'm just thinking like external appearance, right? But that's true, that you have to accept that, and that's something that perhaps you have to resonate with a little bit, and that'll take time, right? Remember that success is relative. That's the first thing I said, right? Success and self-confidence. Success is relative, and if you think that you're successful and you think that you've achieved it, that might be all you need to convince yourself that you're doing it. Know that you'll need to develop your competencies in a certain time of your career, right? We have this beautiful handbook that AMTA gives us that says CMTEs are there for a reason, right? We have to be constant learners. We have to be constant growers. We have to adapt to different trends, different populations. Commit to being a lifelong learner. Fortunately, as students, we're kind of conditioned right now to put that forward and develop those skills, but continue those past your schooling. Pay attention to your own self-talk. This is a big one, right? And consider whether your thoughts are empowering or disabling. Sometimes those thoughts happen real quick, right? Sometimes you're like, man, Sydney can't. Yes, she can. She can do it. She's capable, she's strong, and she's going to win no matter what happens, right? Thinking of those thoughts, and sometimes when we have those thoughts, it's maybe not like exactly on, you can't recognize them, right? It's like, I've been thinking that I'm not the most fabulous person for the longest time. Well, whether or not that has been a reoccurring self-doubt, you still need to evaluate that, and that'll still help you in your mindset. And that's why I talked about mindset earlier, is because truly that's the thing. So if you think that you are confident, if you think that you are a worthy individual, then you are, right? Because that makes it. Now, hopefully you're humble, right? You got to stay humble. You got to stay a lifelong learner. But that was the point before that, right? You got to know when you're failing because you're unprepared, and know when you're failing because you just can't do it. Identify those feelings of fraudulence and where they're coming from most specifically. Is that coming from something that I've maybe failed in the past? Maybe something that is reoccurring? Or is that coming from someone else telling me that I can't do it? Ooh, that's a big one. Figure out why you're having those self-doubt thoughts. And then last, make a list of your strengths, right? So then when someone validates you, when someone says, man, Sydney, you are so good at presenting. You are so cool. Your hair is so long. It's so beautiful. I can say, I might be thinking, is that true? I don't know. How is it right? But if I've made that list and it's in depth and it's been resonated on, it's taken the time, and it really is a true list of your strengths, you can say yes, right? Yes, I am this. I do deserve this. If that list is in depth, then you can say, okay, validation right there. Thank you. Boost self-confidence. Make those lists of your strengths and really acknowledge the great work you're doing as a student yourself. Because sometimes that work, unfortunately, gets unnoticed. Definitely. These are my references because we're almost done on time. If you have any questions, go ahead and unshare my screen. Go ahead and pop those up. And if they don't pop up, I just want you to kind of chant with me until we have to leave. How do I see questions? Go to the chat. Yeah? If you have a question, put it in there. But if you don't, I am strong. I am capable. I can win if I can find my way. I am strong. I am capable. I can win if I can find my way. Point to the Zoom person next to you and look at them and saying, you are strong. You are capable. You can win if you can find your way. We are strong. We are capable. We can win if we can find our way. Last one. Students are strong. Students are capable. Students can win if we can find my way. I lied. This is the last one. I am strong. I am capable. I can win if I can find my way. Awesome. Yes, everyone can find their way. If you have any questions, and message me individually, and you'll see here that we posted the